Y'all, promoted listings on eBay is not just an easy button. You know that I recommend it. eBay recommends it. It can be helpful, but in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the scenario of promoting my oldest listing. I've had it for over 3 years. It has all of the 3 years worth of data on it. I promoted it at up to 75%, a 50% promoted listing plus or minus 25%, capped out at 75%, friends. So I was willing to pay, for the sake of to see what was going to happen, willing to pay 75% in promoted listing, and it did not sell. So I'm going to walk you through today's video of how I did this so you guys can see the back end and what the data you should be looking at to test these things out for yourself, as well as what I ultimately did to get this item to sell, and make recommendations based off of this one anecdotal test scenario that I did. So I'm walking through. I will tell you, it did absolutely increase. Oh, you guys cannot see that. Let's move me. Here we go. Okay, so it did absolutely increase my impressions. Actually, before we get to this, if you are new to promoted listings, you're new to the channel, I'm going to link a video up here of how to set up a promoted listing, how to set up a campaign, and how to run some of these test scenarios for yourself. So if you're like, what are you looking at, Sarah? What exactly are you talking about? Check out this video first and then come back to this video to see what I'm talking about. But I ran a test scenario. I set up a campaign for the oldest item that I had. It was a pair of like Jeffrey Campbell, and we'll look at the exact item in a minute. Jeffrey Campbell, like mule slides, whatever it was. I bought it 3 years ago, listed it, and it just sat there waiting to sell. I set it up, like I said, I set it up at a 50% promoted listing, plus or minus 25%, capped out at 75%. And you can see it absolutely increased. I got 1,000, right? 1,000% more impressions. More people did see my item. I did get a 0.1% increase in click-through. So an increase in how many people were clicking on it previous to when I hadn't promoted it, and then 150 more clicks. So it definitely worked to increase it, but it ultimately did not sell my item. So from here, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did and why promoted listings can help, right? It did get me more metrics. It did get me more clicks, but why didn't this item still sell? And that's where we're going to figure out recommendations to do, where promoting your listings, if you don't do some of these other things, is not going to help sell your items. You're just gonna be promoting them. You don't actually pay. If you do promoting listing standard, you don't actually pay until it sells, but it also isn't really doing a whole lot for you. So the next thing that I did, I set this up, I let it run its course for a week and said, okay, what happens in a week if I promote this? Like I said, it did increase my impressions. More people were seeing it. More people were clicking on it, but nobody was buying it, friends. And here's the thing. If I listed it 3 years ago, not only has eBay changed, but my knowledge has changed, right? So eBay probably has more item specifics or different recommendations on how they do things. My knowledge of things have changed, and the market has changed. Is this item even still relevant that people actually want to buy? So I'm going to walk you through, based off of this knowledge, things that I did from here to try to get it to sell. So from here at day 6, I went through and said, hey, things have changed. My knowledge have changed. I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit my listing. I'm going to make my listing better. So I went in, and you can see this is, well, we'll talk about that in a second. So I went in to make my listing better. I'm going to get off of this until I went in and made my listing better. I didn't end it. I kept it with everything, but I went in and made it better. I looked up, I added the, 3 years ago, I wasn't as good. I didn't have VAs. No, I was listing, so I didn't have VAs yet. But I wasn't as good as like putting model numbers in and filling out all the item specifics. So I went in, I found the model for this shoe, the style name for the shoe, and I'll show you the shoe. You guys want to see the shoe? Because it did ultimately sell. So this is the listing, and I went in and made it better. I found the style number for it. I went in and rechecked my comps. Is this even things that people still really want? And I did this in Terapeak. I'll link a video up here of how to use Terapeak. We're going to look at it in a minute. No, we'll look at it now. So we're going to look at Terapeak. I went in here and said, Jeffrey Campbell Mule. Is this even something that anybody wants anymore? Are these items selling? 3 years ago I looked, but it's been 3 years. Things have changed in 3 years. Is it still selling? Just at a high level, Jeffrey Campbell Mule, you come down here. The average sale price is $52 in the past 90 days, and it has a 9% sell-through rate. So it is still an active, or still a item that is going to sell. I would probably still pick it up again, honestly. But in 3 years, depending on what you're looking at, recheck and see if these are things that people even still want. It may be worth donating it back somewhere, depending on what you're looking at for your oldest inventory. If it's not something that people want anymore, it's not selling because it's not in demand inventory, not because you have a bad listing, not because of whatever it is. So I went in, I made it better. I made sure that it was still in demand inventory, and you can see in the impressions chart, I didn't end it, but you can see in the impressions chart, this is when I changed it on the 15th, and it did get a little bit of a bump from that, right? And here's the thing. So this is interesting. Promoted listings is this top impression. So it's kind of, it started out, I did the promoted listings, and promoted listings like, hey, I'm going to promote it, I'm going to promote it, I'm going to promote it. And then as people aren't clicking on it and buying it, this is a great picture of how eBay starts suppressing your items. It shows it. It starts showing it to 130 places, and then as people are not clicking on it as much, as people are not buying it, it shows it less and less and less. However, as I changed the listing and made the listing quality a lot better, you can see organically I'm getting a little bit better of impressions, and more people are seeing it because now my listing is better. And friends, at the end of this video, I'm going to make recommendations on exactly what you should do to make your inventory sell quicker based off of this scenario. So, I made the listing better. I still have the super high promoted. You can see over time, things are starting to go down. So after 2 weeks, I said, hey, this isn't working. It did get more impressions. I made it better. It got more impressions, but it's not working. So I ended it and I sold similar. So this is ending the item completely and then collecting sell similar on it to make it a completely new listing on eBay. And friends, what this does is, like, let's look at the chart. What this does, eBay now says, hey, this is a new item. They have no data. They don't know that I've had it for 3 years and that no one has clicked on it. They're like, hey, this is a new listing, right? What the organic would do, this is a new listing. I'm going to show it to as many people as possible because I want to sell it. That's what the eBay algorithm does. The eBay algorithm is there to make sales. We want sales, but eBay also wants sales. So now that it's a new listing, it has no data to know if anyone's going to buy this. It is putting it in all of these different places. So I've made it a better listing now, right? And it's a new listing. And so this is ultimately what got it to sell. And it sold, let me check the data on it. It eventually sold within, let me look. From the 14th to the 21st. So it sold in under 2 weeks. So I've had this item for 3 years, friends, and it sold in under 2 weeks after I made my item better and I did a sell similar. I ended the data and made it all new, fresh data. And then I will also say that I did have promoted listings on it, not at a 50% rate, but at a topped out at 25%. And it did ultimately sell with a 22% promoted listing. So based off of this, my recommendations with old inventory or even with new inventory, friends, and run this scenario and let me know what happens for you. I'd be interested. Promoting your listings is not the end all be all if you do not have good quality listings. If you do not have inventory that is in demand, use Terapeak to figure this out. If people don't want your items, you can promote the crap out of it. Nobody is going to buy it. Your problem is not it being seen. Your problem is nobody wants to buy it. So make sure you have in-demand inventory. Check out the Terapeak video because it'll walk through not only how to comp and look up the inventory you've already bought, but it will also make recommendations off of the categories that you are currently buying of things that you should be buying and looking for that are currently selling and in demand right now on eBay based off of your categories, right? So mine's going to be clothing, Obviously, you guys don't all sell the same things that I do. So make sure you're buying things that people want. Promoting listings, is not going to work if nobody wants to buy it. The second thing is your listing quality. If you can get impressions organically, you're not paying for that. But even if you promote an item and it's a bad listing, as seen in the beginning of my video, if it's a bad listing, no one is going to buy it. So I'm going to link a video up here on how to pull a listing quality report. This is one of the most underused report tools in eBay. I pull it every single month to see how my listing quality is. It is going to go in and very intensively tell you how your listings are and what you can do to improve them. Make your listings the best listings possible, because even if you promote or you don't promote, if you do not have a good listing, it is not going to sell, because it is not going to get seen. It is eventually, eBay is going to put it in a couple different places. It's not going to get good data, and it's going to get pushed down. And this leads me to the third recommendation, and I'm going to say doing sell similar. You're going to have to figure out when to do this. But the reason that sell similar works is the eBay algorithm, and I'll link a video up here of how the eBay algorithm works and kind of the back end behind it, what you need to understand to be able to make some of these strategic decisions. But how the eBay algorithm, how any algorithm works on, this is the same on Google as well. You have to have a good listing, right? Because the algorithm is someone is looking for it, and eBay or whoever, Google, is in the back end. They're saying, hey, someone is searching for Jeffrey Campbell mules. I have all of these items. Which one is going to give me the best chance of selling or of clicking on it? On Google, it's clicking on it. On eBay, they want to make this sale. Which one is going to, they want to put the item in front of the right buyer, right? Imagine if you went to Google and you looked for Jeffrey Campbell mules and up came a cute Christmas sweater, right? You wouldn't click on it because that's not what you're looking for. So you need to have items. This is where your listing quality comes in. You need to have items come up when people are searching for it, but they need to be clicked on, and they need to have this good data. So impressions, click-through rates, page views, all of these metrics that eBay are showing us, they are showing us because it matters, and it matters because eBay is tracking all of these things. And as you get less impressions, as you get less page views, as time goes on and no one buys your item, there are millions of listings on eBay. eBay's going to start showing other items that they think might get sold. And so as the longer that you've had your item on eBay, the less and less eBay is showing it, because no one has purchased it yet. So when you end it and sell similar, this makes it a new item, and eBay starts all over again and says, I don't know what this is. I'm going to show it to all kinds of people and see if anybody buys it. And now you're getting in front of new buyers and new places. So the trick is listing quality report, sell similar, and promoting your listings. Promoting your listings alone is not an easy button. If you guys like this video, YouTube also thinks you'd like this video. I will link a playlist down here of how to make money reselling, and then make sure to hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube memberships for more support, free courses, and downloadables to help you make more money reselling.